Yeah, so when I was about 10, 12 years old perhaps, I grew up in North Vancouver at the foot of Grouse Mountain, and quite often my friends and I would climb up Grouse Mountain. We'd climb up the cut at that time, and just, you know, roam through the woods up there. And one day we were roaming through the woods up there, and we encountered the wreckage of an airplane. There was the engine, there was bits of metal wing, the fuselage, bits of the fuselage. It was spread out a bit. And we thought, oh my God, you know, we've discovered the crash of an airplane, and only we knew about it. And we thought we'd go home and we would report this amazing discovery. Well, it turned out so that would have been maybe about 1970, perhaps. It turned out that in 1954, an American fighter pilot was basically lost and flying into Canadian airspace and crashed into Grouse Mountain. And so the remains of that airplane is still there. There's actually a little memorial to this fellow. So it was a fighter jet. It was between the wars, and he was on a kind of training mission, apparently. There's some speculation what he was doing. Wasn't really very clear. And he was also traveling very fast. And there was a witness to his crash. It was a little girl. A little girl, about 6 years old, saw, you were talking about, you know, children on the street, looking up and seeing the airplanes. Well, this one little girl in North Vancouver saw it, and then she was interviewed by the province newspaper. And there's a quote, I have a quote of her. She said, this is reported in the province newspaper in 1954, "It was awful low when it came out of the clouds, and it was going very fast. Then it sort of zoomed up and went in the trees on the side of the mountain. I didn't hear any noise like a bang." So that was Robin McPherson, girl 6, only witness to the U.S. fighter jet crash. Okay, so I wrote this poem just sort of, I was thinking about that, and I wrote this poem about that. So, you know, what's the connection? He's a U.S. military. It's between wars. The soldiers need to train and fly, and this is what happens. So this is something that could happen, and of course, it's much worse, you know, when it's real life. So anyway, the speed of sound. It's called Speed of Sound. When you, pilot, are traveling at the speed of sound, can we hear you scream? The robin, the crow, the girl there standing by the stream. She saw a sound, saw its speed, and heard nothing. To her, it was a dream. When you lost your way, pilot, you're in another land where ghosts appear. They tell you down is up, this maneuver that. You've nothing more to fear. Do you recall those days, an alien spirit lurking there? Did you think it was a dream? Now she walks along the trail to reach that mountain view. Might she find remains, glass and steel, a wing? Then hear the engine that was you, the heart, the very soul of your plane? With rocks and stones and trees, you're round the final bend. It's there, pilot, clear and whole. You know it was not a dream.